The morning routine that rewires your brain for success. Most people wake up every day without realizing they are stepping into the most powerful moment of their entire life, the first hour of their morning. This hour is not just another part of the day. It's the ignition switch. The programming phase. The moment your mind is most open, most impressionable, and most easily shaped. And yet, most people waste it. They reach for their phone, scroll mindlessly, rush through their routine, and start their day in a reactive state, stressed, unfocused, and overwhelmed. But here's the truth nobody taught you: your morning routine is the software that programs your brain for the rest of the day. If you start your day in chaos, your mind becomes chaotic. If you start your day with intention, your mind becomes unstoppable. There is a reason the most successful people in the world, entrepreneurs, athletes, visionaries, creators, leaders, all guard their mornings with discipline. They understand something the average person doesn't: your brain is most malleable in the first hour after waking. Whatever you do in this window shapes your focus, energy, mindset, and motivation for the entire day. If you want to rewire your brain for success, you don't need a complicated plan. You don't need 100 rules. You don't need extreme productivity hacks. You need a morning routine that aligns your mind with your future. The truth is simple but powerful: your mornings either build your life or break it. And if you truly want to transform your mind, your habits, and your destiny, you must understand what happens in your brain when you wake up. When you open your eyes in the morning, your brain is in a state called theta, the same state used in deep meditation and hypnosis. This is the state where beliefs are shaped, where thoughts sink deeper, where new neural pathways are built. In this moment, your mind is absorbing everything with heightened sensitivity. This is why grabbing your phone as soon as you wake up is so destructive. The chaos of notifications, the comparison of social media, the noise of the world, the stress of problems. You're feeding all of that directly into the most programmable part of your mind. You are literally wiring your brain for distraction, stress, comparison, and chaos before your day even begins. Successful people do the opposite. They use this window to strengthen their mind, to reinforce discipline, to build intention, to activate focus, to program their identity. They understand that the first hour of your morning determines the next 10 hours of your life. The routine you follow in this first hour sends a message to your brain: this is who I am. This is the level I operate at. This is the standard I live by. Your morning routine shapes your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. But here's something deeper: the habits you choose in the morning activate certain neural circuits in your brain. Some circuits make you sharp, energetic, and disciplined. Other circuits make you slow, distracted, and unfocused. Most people unknowingly activate the circuits of mediocrity. The one intentionally activate the circuits of mastery. And the difference between these two lives begins the moment you wake up. Imagine two people waking up at the same time. One reaches for their phone. The other reaches for purpose. One scrolls. The other strengthens. One reacts. The other creates. One programs their mind for stress. The other programs their mind for success. These micro decisions seem small, but they build entirely different futures. The average person treats their morning casually. The successful treat it like a sacred ritual. Because they know the truth: your morning routine is the foundation of discipline. If you win your morning, you win your day. If you win your day, you win your week. If you win your week, you win your life. And you don't need perfection, you just need intention. The morning routine that rewires your brain for success is not about becoming perfect overnight. It's about creating a system that builds consistency, alignment, and clarity. A routine that strengthens your mental circuitry, boosts your energy, sharpens your focus, and sets the tone for who you are becoming. Your morning should not be designed for comfort. It should be designed for alignment. Alignment with your goals. Alignment with your identity. Alignment with your future self. Because the truth is this, your future self is built in the first hour of your day. And if you want to become someone powerful, disciplined, confident, and successful, your morning must reflect that version of you. This is the hour where you prepare your mind for excellence. This is the hour where you build the momentum that carries you through the day. This is the hour where you program your inner software for focus and success. Your brain is listening. Your habits are forming. Your identity is strengthening. The question is, what are you programming it with? The difference between an average life and an extraordinary one starts the moment your morning begins. Your morning is the first agreement you make with yourself each day. And whether you realize it or not, you are teaching your brain how seriously it should take you. If you start your day with discipline, your brain begins to associate you with consistency, strength, and control. If you start your day with distraction, your brain begins to associate you with chaos, impulsiveness, and weakness. This is why your morning routine matters far more than people think. It's not about productivity, it's about identity. It's not about doing more, it's about becoming more. It's not about checking boxes, it's about programming your mindset. And when you begin to understand the psychology behind mornings, everything changes. When you wake up, your brain is transitioning from delta waves to theta waves to alpha waves. This is a neurological window where the mind is incredibly receptive to influence. Whatever you expose yourself to during this window becomes the baseline for your day. It becomes the lens through which you see your world. This is why the most successful people in any field protect their mornings with intensity. They treat their first hour like a ritual because they know it is the birthplace of every goal they set, every challenge they face, every decision they make. In this part of the script, I'm going to reveal the deeper reasons the morning routine is so transformative and why most people fail to build one. Let's start with the truth. Reason 1, your brain craves certainty in the morning. Most people wake up into uncertainty. What do I do first? What do I feel like? What should I focus on? This creates mental clutter. Mental clutter drains energy. Low energy leads to impulsive decisions. But a structured morning gives your brain clarity, direction, and stability. When your morning is intentional, your mind feels anchored. Instead of drifting, it focuses. Instead of reacting, it leads. This is why successful people have routines, not to be rigid, but to remove chaos from their first hour. Reason 2, your willpower is highest in the morning. The average person wastes this peak energy on their phone. The successful invest it in themselves. Your morning is when your discipline is strongest. If you use this strength, you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through. If you waste this strength, you reinforce the identity of someone who loses control to impulses. Identity is built one morning at a time. Reason 3, your subconscious is wide open. Whatever you consume first becomes the emotional tone of your day. If you consume stress, you carry stress. If you consume comparison, you carry insecurity. If you consume distraction, you carry chaos. But if you consume intention, discipline, gratitude, learning, focus, you carry all of those into your day as well. This is why the one choose their morning input carefully. They feed their mind what aligns with their future, not their feelings. Reason 4, momentum begins in the morning. Momentum is not accidental. Momentum is engineered. Momentum is built by winning small battles early. When you win your morning, you create a psychological pattern known as cascading confidence. It means each small win builds on the last, making it easier to take disciplined action throughout the day. Wake up win, move your body win, drink water win, plan your day win, learn something win. Each win rewires your brain to expect success. Reason 5, you create your character in your first hour. Every morning, you make a choice: do I follow my highest self or my easiest self? Your highest self wants the routine. Your easiest self wants the phone. Your highest self wants discipline. Your easiest self wants comfort. Your highest self wants progress. Your easiest self wants short-term pleasure. Every morning is a battle between these two versions of you, and whichever version you choose becomes stronger. Over time, one dominates. That's what shapes your destiny. Why most people fail to build a morning routine: not because they lack time. Not because they lack motivation. Not because they lack energy. They fail because they approach mornings with emotion rather than identity. They say things like, "I'm not a morning person. I'll try to wake up earlier. I'll start when I feel ready." But your identity is not fixed. It is trained. It is shaped. It is built. And the best time to build it is when your mind is most programmable, the morning. A morning routine is not about waking up early. It's about waking up intentionally. You can wake up at 5 a.m. or 9 a.m., it doesn't matter. What matters is what you do in your first 60 minutes. Are you moving toward your future, or repeating your past? Are you acting with discipline, or reacting with chaos? Are you programming your mind, or letting the world program it for you? Once you understand this, you begin to see your morning differently. You begin to respect it. You begin to guard it. You begin to design it as the launching pad for your future self. Because the truth is simple: the person you want to become is formed in the first hour of your day. A powerful morning routine isn't just a list of habits, it's a psychological reprogramming process. Every action you take in the first hour after waking sends a message to your subconscious mind. It tells your brain who you are, what you value, and how seriously you take your life. This is why successful people treat their mornings like a sacred space, because they understand that your identity is formed through repeated signals, and the morning is the strongest signal of all. In this part, you will discover how a morning routine actually rewires the brain and why the 99 fail to use this advantage while the 1 master it. The brain rewires itself through repetition. Your mind is not fixed. Your habits are not fixed. Your discipline is not fixed. Your identity is not fixed. Neuroscience shows that your brain is constantly rewiring itself, a process called neuroplasticity. Every action you repeat strengthens the neural pathways linked to that behavior. And the pathways you strengthen in the morning become the dominant patterns throughout your day. If your morning routine is weak, your identity becomes weak. If your morning routine is strong, your identity becomes strong. This is why the first hour of your day can either build you or break you, because it sets the neurological tone for the next 16 hours of your life. The morning routine that keeps people average: most people wake up and instantly sabotage themselves, not on purpose, but by habit. They reach for the phone. They scroll social media. They react to other people's lives, problems, opinions, and noise. Their mind becomes overloaded with input before they've even taken their first conscious breath. Without realizing it, they have already activated stress response, triggered comparison, lowered focus, spiked dopamine, trained the brain to seek distraction. By the time they start their day, they are mentally exhausted. This is what the average morning looks like: reactive, distracted, chaotic, unintentional. And the brain simply echoes what it learned. This is the level we operate at today. But the one do something radically different. The elite treat their mornings as identity training. Your morning routine is the gym for your mind. It is where your discipline lifts its first weight. It is where your mind learns how to behave for the rest of the day. Everything in the morning should send one message: I am someone who takes life seriously. Because the more you repeat that message, the more the brain believes it. Imagine waking up and the first thing you do is something difficult, like cold water, movement, reading, writing, meditation, affirmations, planning, gratitude. Your brain instantly recognizes, this person chooses growth. This person chooses discipline. This person chooses self-mastery. This person is in control. These repeated signals are how identity forms. The 4 psychological shifts that happen when you win your morning shift. 1. Discipline becomes easier. Discipline is a muscle. The first disciplined act of the day strengthens it. Each additional act builds on that strength. When you win your morning, discipline feels natural, not forced. Shift 2. Decision fatigue disappears when your morning is structured. Your mind stops wasting energy on small decisions. This frees up mental bandwidth for creativity, work, problem solving, and growth. The average person wakes up into confusion. The successful wake up into clarity. Shift 3. You build internal control. Every time you follow your morning plan, you reinforce the belief, I control my life. This is called self-efficacy, the belief that you can rely on yourself. It is the foundation of confidence. Shift 4. Momentum begins. Momentum is not created randomly. It's created intentionally. One disciplined action leads to another. One win creates another win. One strong morning becomes a strong day. And here is the part that matters most: momentum is the enemy of procrastination. When you begin your day with discipline, procrastination loses its power. Why most people can't maintain a morning routine? Not because it's hard. Not because they're busy. Not because they're not morning people. They fail because they misunderstand the purpose of the morning. They think the morning routine is about doing tasks. But it's not. It's about becoming someone new. The routine is not the goal. The identity the routine builds is. That is why the ones succeed. They don't chase habits. They chase identity transformation. And that transformation begins each morning. The morning routine that reprograms your brain. There is no single routine for everyone. But there is a universal principle: your morning routine must align with the person you want to become, not the person you've been. If you want to be disciplined, your morning must reflect discipline. If you want to be focused, your morning must reflect focus. If you want to be confident, your morning must reflect confidence. If you want to be successful, your morning must reflect success. Because the brain learns from action, not intention. Most people think, when I become successful, I'll build a routine. The successful think, I'll build a routine so I can become successful. This single shift is what separates average from unstoppable. Your morning routine is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. Now that you understand why your morning routine is the most powerful tool for rewiring your brain, it's time to break down the core elements that transform an ordinary morning into a high-performance launchpad. These are not random habits. These are intentional psychological triggers designed to activate the parts of your brain responsible for discipline, focus, clarity, and long-term success. This is how the ones structure their first hour, not for productivity, but for identity. Not for speed, but for alignment. Not to do more, but to operate at a higher level. Below are the pillars of a brain rewiring morning routine. Each one serves a specific mental and emotional purpose. 1. Wake up with purpose, not panic. Most people wake up in a rush. They hit snooze. They scramble. They start their day reacting to pressure. This immediately spikes cortisol and programs the brain for stress. But waking up intentionally programs the brain for control. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m., but you do need to wake up with ownership. Get out of bed the moment you decide. This single act signals to your brain, I follow through. I keep my word to myself. That message alone rewires identity. 2. Hydrate immediately. Your brain is 75% water and dehydrates overnight. A dehydrated brain equals slow thinking, low focus, poor mood. A successful morning routine begins with activation, not comfort. Drinking water first thing does 3 things. Jumpstarts the brain, increases alertness, signals the body that the day has begun. This is the first small win of the day. 3. Move your body, even for 2 minutes. You don't need a full workout. You just need movement. Stretching, walking, breathing exercises, a few push-ups, anything that increases blood flow. Why? Because movement activates your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, discipline, and focus. If you wake up the body, you wake up your mind. 4. Stay off your phone. This is the most important rule. Even more important than meditation, journaling, or reading. Your phone destroys your morning programming. When you check your phone first thing, you train your brain to seek dopamine, activate stress, put yourself in a reactive state. We can focus, surrender your attention to the world. The one, understand, your mind should belong to you before it belongs to the world. Avoid your phone for the first 30 to 60 minutes. This one habit alone can change your entire life. 5. Practice stillness and meditation or breathwork. Your mind wakes up chaotic. Meditation centers it. Even 3 to 5 minutes of stillness rewires your brain by reducing stress, increasing awareness, sharpening focus, strengthening emotional control. Stillness teaches you how to lead your mind instead of being led by it. 6. Gratitude or affirmations. Emotional programming. Gratitude shifts your brain from threat mode to growth mode. Affirmations shift your identity from insecurity to strength. These practices rewire the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, making you feel grounded, confident, and in control. Successful people know this. Your emotions need direction. Gratitude and affirmations provide it. 7. Planning before the world distracts you. Before distractions. Before noise. Before responsibilities. This is when you choose your battles for the day. Most people drift through their day. Successful people design their day. Writing down your top 1 to 3 priorities tells your brain these things matter. Focus here. Your brain loves clarity. And clarity is a superpower. 8. Feed your mind. 5 minutes of learning. Your brain is in alpha state, perfect for absorbing information. Read a page. Listen to a snippet of a podcast. Study something. Learn anything meaningful. This tells your mind, we grow. We improve. We evolve. It's not about becoming a genius. It's about reinforcing the identity of someone who invests in themselves. 9. Do one hard thing immediately. It doesn't have to be big. Just something mildly uncomfortable. Cold water. A tough task. A difficult message. A small workout. Doing one hard thing rewires your brain to stop running from discomfort and start embracing it. This single habit alone can change your life more than anything else. 10. Protect your environment. The sounds, light, smells, and atmosphere you wake up to shape your mental state. A messy environment creates anxiety. A calm environment creates clarity. Successful people curate their mornings. They design the environment they wake into. Putting it all together, a brain rewiring morning routine looks something like this. Wake up intentionally, hydrate, move, stay off phone, practice stillness, practice gratitude or affirmations, plan the day, learn something, do something hard, begin with clarity. This is not about perfection. This is about alignment with the person you want to become. Because here's the truth, your morning routine is not just a routine, it is a self-respect ritual. And when you treat your morning with respect, you treat your future with respect. Your morning becomes your edge. Your advantage. Your momentum. Your power. It becomes the anchor that keeps you focused when the world is loud. It becomes the foundation that keeps you grounded when life gets chaotic. It becomes the training ground that molds your identity. The person you become when you master your morning is not the same person you were before. There is a version of you that you haven't met yet, a stronger, more disciplined, more focused, more capable version. The version you dream about. The version you admire. The version you know you could become if you stopped negotiating with your excuses. And the bridge between the current you and that future you is built every single morning. Your morning routine is not just a set of habits, it's a declaration. A statement of identity. A message to yourself that says, I am not living on autopilot. I am not repeating the old patterns. I am building a new life, starting with who I am becoming. When you approach your mornings with this mindset, everything changes. Not because life magically becomes easier, but because you become stronger. You become clearer. You become someone who leads their day instead of being led by it. Let's talk about the deeper transformation that happens when you truly master your mornings. 1. You become the leader of your mind. Most people wake up and instantly surrender control to their phone, to their emotions, to their stress, to their habits. But when you start your morning intentionally, you take back your power. You become the one directing your thoughts instead of being dragged by them. You become the leader of your mind, not a follower of your impulses. And when you lead your mind in the morning, your mind follows your leadership the rest of the day. 2. You build unshakable confidence. Confidence doesn't come from accomplishments. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every morning that you follow your plan, you reinforce the belief, I can depend on myself. This belief becomes the root of unshakable confidence, confidence that doesn't rely on outside validation, outcomes, or achievement. It comes from identity, not appearance. Confidence becomes your default state. 3. You break the cycle of reactivity. The average person spends their entire life reacting to messages, stress, emotions, people, and situations. They live in response to the world. But your morning creates space. Space for clarity. Space for intention. Space for choice. You shift from reacting to creating. From chaos to control. From surviving to building. This single shift changes everything. 4. You gain the one advantage most people never develop, momentum. Momentum is the greatest invisible force behind success. With momentum, discipline feels natural. Without momentum, discipline feels impossible. When you win your morning, you generate psychological momentum that pushes you forward throughout the day. You become someone who starts strong and stays strong. This is how extraordinary people operate. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on momentum. And momentum begins every morning. 5. You rewire your identity every single day. Identity is not built in a moment, it's built through repeated evidence. If you meditate once, it means nothing. If you plan once, it means nothing. If you wake up early once, it means nothing. But when you do it daily, even imperfectly, your brain begins to rewrite the story you tell yourself. I'm disciplined. I'm focused. I'm capable. I'm becoming better. Identity is destiny. And your morning is where destiny is reshaped. 6. Your future self becomes your priority every morning. You are given a choice: do I live for comfort today, or do I live for my future? When you choose your future, you begin to reshape your entire life path. You stop thinking in days and start thinking in decades. You stop chasing dopamine and start building direction. You stop living like the average and start living like the elite. Your morning is the moment where you decide which future you're building. 7. You become someone others can rely on. Starting with yourself, the highest version of you is consistent, centered, intentional, and strong. And consistency begins with the first hour of your day. If you can lead your morning, you can lead your life. If you can control the first hour, you can control the next 23. If you can win the beginning, you can win the end. This is why the morning routine matters. This is why it rewires your brain. This is why it transforms your identity. Not because of the habits themselves, but because of the person those habits shape you into. Your morning is not just a routine. It's a revolution. Most people wake up the same way they lived yesterday. But not you. Not anymore. You understand the power now. You understand the opportunity now. You understand the responsibility now. Your morning is your reset button. Your morning is your advantage. Your morning is your leverage. Your morning is the quiet war you win before the world even wakes up. Your morning is the birthplace of your success, your discipline, your mindset, and ultimately, your future self. If you want to transform your life, don't start with the year. Don't start with the month. Don't start with the week. Start with tomorrow morning. That 1 hour could be the hour that changes everything.